Hello guys, it is me again and I am pretty invisible, but you might still be able to see me. I am SubZeroExtabyte and I am going to show all of you things that are going to blow your minds, which is going to be really amazing. I am really hyped for what is about that happen and stuff. So now we are just going to chill for a bit, and you can see why I used the word chill, because there is literally ice falling from the sky, and we are going to stay safe. I am not sure yet what all of this ice is going to do for this town, but it doesn't really promise anything good. But yeah, we are just going to watch what will happen and stuff, and I think that it will be pretty good fun. A lot of ice is actually falling from the sky, and I am still unsure what all of this ice is going to damage or something, but it is going to be fun, and we will just see what is going to happen. Time will tell. I don't really care, but we are just going to explore a bit of things and stuff, and then when we are done we are just going to see what happens with the ice or whatever comes next, which is going to be even more amazing. So, we are just enjoying this weather with these guys, which are Juliana, Ben, Alex, Benvi, Deadshot 2017, and now we are going to head out by ourselves. I don't like sitting inside with this weather. I want to experience this, and I think that it is just amazing that something like this can happen, and it seems like the ice is slowly penetrating through the layers of this apartment building. So those guys who are down there at the lobby are not the brightest, but I mean they do have a cozy fire down there, so that is great though. But anyways, we are just going to venture this amazing city where all of this craziness is happening and stuff. So, we are enjoying this lovely day of this weather, and it is actually, without even joking, it is like really amazing how all of this can happen in Minecraft. I would be scared if something like this would happen in my world, though. All my houses and towns that I built with my friends and other people would then just get destroyed. And could you imagine this happening to your chest where you have all your valuable items in? Well, that would be much fun, I think. Then your chest would get destroyed, and then all of your stuff would be gone, and then you have to start over again, and then you need to mine again and stuff, and it would just not be nice. So if you are smart, you could make something like a cave really deep down underneath your house, and there you could place your chest. Or if you really want to secure your possessions, then you could place an ender chest, and then none of the other people in your server could steal your loot, if you don't trust them or anything, and you can just enjoy your day, and then you cannot worry about your chest being destroyed by this stupid ice, or that your things would get stolen by some idiot that would come around and then just steal your stuff. So, it seems like the ice is going to melt, and that something else will take over in 15 seconds. So let's see what that is going to be. I hope that it won't be a tornado or a tsunami or something. Then the entire city that we are in at the moment would probably not be a city anymore, but it would just be gone, I guess. So that wouldn't really be that awesome. But yeah, after a bit of confusion we found out that this disaster is the floor is lava, which is not really that nice. But if only the floor is lava, then the air is not lava, so we are safe up here. We are like a little UAV or something. Those things in the air that look at positions of people, or another thing. I don't really know a lot of those things, but they are pretty cool though. But yeah, this roundabout that we were at before this crazy teleport thing happened was pretty cool. I was just about to say, but I mean that roundabout was cool. But now we are in a different city, and this city is way cooler, and being out of the invisible mode is also way cooler than to be invisible. Sure, it is like really amazing to be invisible, but I mean sometimes you have to not be invisible. So we just need to be like really cool and stuff, and if we are really cool then we can live through this horror and pain, and then we won't be a part of a lot of disasters, hopefully. But I think it is really cool that there are other maps with other disasters and stuff, and the things that have been made or implemented are really great. The developers of this thing and the creators of the different maps that you can play on have done one hell of a job, if I do say so myself. So, we are just going to enjoy ourselves in this new world that we are in, and then when the things start, then we will see the things starting, and then we can just have a good time, and we can just enjoy ourselves, and then we can see what happens next. And if nothing really happens, then well, okay. But it seems like stationary water is lava, so I am not really sure what that means, but I guess that we are just not going to touch any stationary water, or cyan carpet that is now lava. That seems pretty easy, and if the cyan carpet becomes lava then it can do that. Oak wood is a bit more challenging, but luckily, we aren't on oak wood. There is a lot of oak wood around us, and I said something before I thought, and now we are back to UAV mode. And we can just spectate a bunch of people, but we can look how these people play this stuff, and then we can just see what they do, and maybe these guys are really good, and then we might learn something from them. So, the ice is still falling from the sky, which is pretty crazy because some things are lava and here the ice just comes out of the sky. That is pretty weird to me. I am not entirely sure why, but it is a bit weird. Maybe just because ice is like really cold, and well, lava is really hot, so that mix is just not really that good. So, let's just enjoy this spectating game mode. There isn't really another option except for leaving, but now we can appreciate the amazingness of this map, and if we leave that takes a lot of time as well. And this is just fun, is it not? Well, I am enjoying myself flying around like this and just looking at stuff that is in this town. And I am enjoying myself just fine. All of this ice, it is more ice than some rapper have around their necks. And you probably have seen such a rapper, that is a lot of ice. Well, if they are talking about ice, it isn't really ice, but it is just a code word for diamonds. So, if you go to your dad and ask for some ice, then he might get back with a really amazing chain with diamonds and stuff, with whatever you like on it. Or he goes to the freezer, takes a nice ice cream and then hands it over to you. Or you just get ice that goes in drinks, which would be pretty sad. But you need to do something to eat, so you might as well eat that ice and then you could have a nice cold drink with that ice and then you would have a good dinner. No, just kidding, don't eat ice for dinner, not even for breakfast or lunch or something else. That is not really great for your body, I would imagine. So, let's just enjoy these last 20-something seconds and then this all will be over and we will get a new map and a new disaster, I would imagine, and then we would have a great time and then we are going to win. 10 guys have survived this one, and we just died because we were just not smart. But I mean, mistakes happen, so I am not really that bummed out about that. But I mean, it could be a lot better if we just had this win. One guy died as well. He probably tried to swim in lava, and if you do not pay attention to the players then it goes fast. Another one has died and there are just 8 left. And as we could see, another great warrior died in the final 20 seconds, which is really sad. But things happen and you can't do anything about it sometimes. But I think that this other guy died as well in the lava. Only 6 managed to survive. I am not really sure with how many we started, but I could imagine that it was at least 30 or something. But I didn't really pay attention to how many players were left until I was really dead. But I mean, it was an amazing map with a cool disaster, and we need to choose a new one anyway, so we basically waited for nothing. But we did see a whole lot of that map, which was pretty great though. And I don't think this is the same one, but I think that we played this one at the beginning of the video, so I might know just the minimum about this map, which is a start. So we are going to stay optimistic and we are just going to enjoy our day and we are just going to find a nice spot. And hopefully we don't die by the disasters, which would not really be that great, but it is something and it is pretty amazing, so we are just going to enjoy ourselves out here and we are just having a really nice time, so that is just fantastic and stuff. But we are just going to stay in here, and yeah, I said we started with 30 players and right now there are 24 players including me, and some could even join. And someone is also here and she has her pajama on, which I don't have. But this house is really luxurious. Just by exploring this thing I would enjoy living here, to be honest. It was a really nice building and it even has this amazing floating garden thing, which is really cool, and I would like to have this in my house if I would have the chance. But yeah, that was a really cool made house, and we are just going to explore a bit more and then we can stop being Tarzan in the forest. So, we can explore more of this house, and I see a little crop farm here which is also cool. And it has been made by the same guy. Wait, what is this then? Giant slime serial killer. Okay, that is something that is completely normal. And we only have 1.5 heart left, so the slime would one-shot us with its slimminess, which is also not really amazing. But I mean, we have got this amazing house where we could just live in, since there is no one home that actually owns the place. So we could just take it over and then I would live in all this luxury, which would just be amazing to do. And we are just up here on this terrace with the crops that live here, which are pretty cool to have if you have such a terrace in your house, and you have got the space to do all of that. And they made the pumpkins and the watermelons and the berries or the wine fruit things pretty amazing. And another amazing thing is that we lived through the giant slime one, which I didn't even realize that it was so close to ending right there. So let's do another one and let's hope that we can win another one, and then we might get addicted to winning in disaster things, and then we would be able to get to a professional level with disaster surviving stuff. But no, for real, I am really amazed at how this can be so fun and just amazing. It is a really cool thing to do and it is just fun to play. And as you can see, they also just had fun with making this lobby. You can enter a lot of buildings, and for an example, in this building you can just parkour a bit and it is just fun to do, which is great. And they thought of all that, which is really amazing to me. I would never come up with those amazing ideas, but that is not why I am in this server. I am here to enjoy the stuff that has already been built and implemented, and it all just is so cool. And now we are just enjoying ourselves with this lovely parkour, which, as I saw, is actually really high, but I think that with a bit of luck this level that we were on just then is a bit of a checkpoint if we fall onto that checkpoint, which is also really great. So if we fall, we hopefully just fall on this platform. I hope that we don't fall, but as you can see, we fell, and this little other level saved us pretty hard. Otherwise we would be here and then we would have to do the whole thing again, which would not be that much fun. But it is just nice that there was a little checkpoint, even though we didn't really use it. But that is okay. So now we are going to a new world and we are going to see what is up in this server, or map, or whatever it is. And it seems like we are once again in a really big building with once again 24 players, which are 23 other players, which is probably the limit for how many people can be in this server without it crashing or something. But it is a decent amount, and I am just glad that it isn't overcrowded here. But at the moment we are gaining a lot of height here, which could be really smart, but cubes of death are going to fall, and I am not entirely sure what that is supposed to mean, but I can imagine that it is going to be enjoyable. And it doesn't seem like you could leave this building as well, or I am just not smart. But it is also raining black stained glass, which is pretty weird, but the weather does whatever it likes these last months, so I guess that we are now in the time that black stained glass is starting to fall out of the air, and apparently that is really toxic or something that you are going to die from, which is not that great either. We died from that stuff and we didn't really feel anything from it, but it is just not nice to be here in the sky looking at players that are playing and you are not playing. So, we are just going to amuse ourselves with flying around again, and we could in matter of fact leave that huge hotel or whatever it was supposed to be. This town looks a bit like it is from the future, and I really like that roundabout, and that house that we spawned in was actually really cool. I am not even going to lie to you. If you would live there, then you would have one hell of a life if you ask me. It was like 12 stories high or something like that, and the design of the whole thing was amazing, and we died in there, which wasn't that amazing, but the house itself was amazing though, so that is great. But it is just under 1 minute left now, and then we could play a quick one after this, and then hopefully we have a chance of winning again. But there are 7 players left, and I don't see any of them, but I think that those players, that one of them died just when I was speaking, are hiding somewhere deep in those big buildings, so they have a really small chance of dying. But I do think that in these last 40 seconds or so, someone else would die, but I don't think we would have enough time if I waited on that one lobby, and I couldn't see any players, so I just left. If you guys don't mind, but just take a look at this map then. This is just too amazing for words. Someone made these trees with their hands and their creativity. Just think about that. And there are even planks in there, which is also pretty great. But yeah, this is just amazing. And the disasters that are going to take place don't really sound like a lot of fun. We have heat wave, which will probably be really hot. Then we also have the plague. Let's hope not the black one. And then as a final one we have hot potato, which I am not sure yet what that is going to be. So now we are already on fire, and I am not sure what that is all about, but I think that you need to be in a shadow or something, because otherwise it is way too hot. And you have a little bit of a cheat right here. You can just see the outlines of other players, so if there are 5 people left, and you see one guy with one hell of a spot, then you can just rush to that guy and then you would be safe, or not. You never know. But the other thing that is a bit of a problem right now is that I can't sprint because I have half a food bar, and then we also have half a heart of HP, which is also not really that amazing to have. And we can't heal or anything because then our bellies need to be full, but my belly isn't full. But I am really high up here, so that is great though. And it seems like 5 people have already died, and that does not include us yet. So, we have got that going for ourselves, which is pretty amazing if I have to say so myself. We are also in a really cool spot here. But I have got to go, guys, so I will see you in the next one, and then I hope you enjoyed this one from today.